Eastern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Macy Marie. Well, if you've been outside, you know that tonight's severe weather alert day has nothing to do with storms or a snow concern, but rather this extreme heat we're dealing with. Chief Meteorologist Paige Noel is keeping an eye on some of those big concerns. Paige, what should we expect going into the next couple of days?
Well, Macy, we really should expect to continue to sweat as you're stepping outside because that heat is really going to continue this evening and as we head into your Saturday as well. Let's go ahead and check out those temperatures right now. All of us, really most of us though, already into the 90s, showing a 94 in Hazard, a little bit cooler Pikeville, 88 degrees, 90 looking down into Harlan, over into London as well, and a 90 in Jackson, Prestonsburg, and Moorhead. But feeling like close to 100 to about 105 degrees, and that's really been our biggest concern with those feels like temperatures, those heat index temperatures feeling a lot warmer, and that's because we also had those dew points on the higher end. They're into about those mid 70s. So due to that, that's why that heat advisory was issued for the mountains. You also see that excessive heat warning for some out into parts of central western Kentucky and a few of our counties up into West Virginia and one of ours in Kentucky as well. So it's been just a bone dry day. Maybe a stray shower or two has been possible over the past couple of hours if you're lucky enough to get one of those showers, but really we've just been seeing sunshine and those drier conditions. Now as we head into tomorrow, the dangerous heat really does continue, but good news is cold front does arrive. That brings more rain into the mountains sadly, but also brings those cooler temperatures. I'll look at that full forecast coming up in just a few short minutes.
All right, thank you, Paige. And as those temps continue rising, more and more people are trying to find ways to beat the heat. Many children and adults decided to hit the Perry County Park pool on this hot day. With more than 75 people coming through the gates right when it opened, they're trying to find any way to stay cool during these hot temperatures.
Today is pool day, which is every Friday, so the kids get to come in and swim, and it's just been so hot outside this week. We had like water day one week, and we stayed under the pavilion one week, so it's just nice to be able to swim and for them to get to play a little bit one-on-one.
Looks like a great time out there. The Perry County pool is open daily from 12 to 6. And this same heat wave is impacting 33 other states. Hillary Lane reports from Brooklyn, New York.
As people from the Midwest to the Northeast start flocking to cooling centers,
it is too hot out here to be in the sun.
This group of young girls is dancing in the heat on Coney Island.
At first, I was just like, it's so hot, but then I knew I had the right change of clothing on.
Close to 200 million people are set to roast in record high temperatures through the weekend.
I've been drinking lots of water, staying hydrated.
Organizers have canceled the annual New York City Triathlon set for Sunday due to the extreme heat.
This is a potentially dangerous weather situation for a number of New Yorkers.
Power companies bracing for outages are urging residents to do their part.
I'd ask them to be safe, to check on each other, to conserve energy where you can.
Residents along the East Coast here will likely be looking for some beach relief, where the heat and humidity will make it feel like it's 110 degrees.
We're going to try and stay in the shade as much as we can and obviously be wearing like a lot of sun cream too.
Even at night, forecasters say temperatures will struggle to drop below 80 degrees.
I'm asthmatic, so I can't take this heat too much. So I gotta hide with the AC and drink plenty of fluid.
Brianna Bailey has this advice.
If there's ever a time where you feel like you're dizzy or that you need water, to go sit down and take a break.
This summer scorcher is expected to let up early next week. Hillary Lane, CBS News, Brooklyn, New York.
Lyft is offering free and discounted rides in cities on the East Coast and in the Midwest to help those affected by the heat wave. A woman is charged after deputies got a complaint that she was trying to sell drugs inside a store. Clay County deputies say they got the call around 8 this morning and ended up arresting Nancy Reed. She was walking along US 421 when they found her. Deputies also say she was under the influence. Reed's charged with drug possession and public intoxication. There is an investigation underway in Clark County after a dog was found abandoned in a wire cage on the side of the road this morning. Animal control officers say the 10 to 14-week-old puppy was unable to stand up on her own and had a skin condition. Officials say the dog was likely dropped off early this morning along Old Ruckerville Road. The Clark County Animal Shelter is raising money for the puppy care on their Facebook page. A member of the Kentucky clothing dynasty has died. A.F. Hare died last night. He was the last living child of S.F. Hare, who started the Hare clothing stores. The stores were spread through Kentucky, West Virginia, Ohio, and Tennessee. The chain went bankrupt and the last store closed back in 2008. A.F. was 87 years old. The Black Jewel bankruptcy case is not only impacting miners here in the mountains, but also miners in Wyoming. More than 1,000 people were there, sought employment help from Wyoming Workforce Services Office. Black Jewel's wanting emergency financing to reopen its mines and operate during the bankruptcy process. Their next court date is scheduled for July 31st. Students and teachers are enjoying the last few weeks before summer ends, but parents of new students tend to become nervous. No worries though, because school officials say there are steps you and your child can take to be more prepared. WYMT's Lauren McCourt explains.
Not only is the first day of school scary for kindergarten students,
I was really nervous. I remember I was really scared.
But also for their parents.
It was more harder for me than what it was for her.
We were all just a ball of emotions.
And when your first child heads into that classroom, you may just be as lost as they are.
It's a really hard transition for kids and for parents.
But never fear, there are steps you can take to prepare you and your child for this milestone.
Get started doing routines with your children when they're small, even as infants. It can make such a big difference.
Along with establishing a routine, make sure your children know their first and last name, their ABCs, and how to count to at least 20.
They'll learn a lot of that in kindergarten, but there's a lot of things that they do need to know before they start.
For the kids that may be just a little nervous, just remember we were all once in your shoes.
Just keep your head up and you'll go through it. It's okay, we can be friends.
And for the parents,
Have faith in the school systems. The school systems, that's what they do for a living.
going in positive and prepared
Start talking about kindergarten before time to go to kindergarten.
will help your child grow during their school years. In Perry County, Lauren McCourt, WYMT Mountain News.
And if you want more information on how your little one should know, what they should know, or bring, contact your local school for a supply list. Another Republican is running to challenge Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in next year's elections. Sheer Murray released a campaign video earlier this week. In it, she argues that she would represent New York's 14th district better and will attract jobs to the area more effectively. Murray is considered a long shot as a Republican in the Democratic stronghold. The New York Post reports 4 other Republicans are running to take Ocasio-Cortez's seat. Chance the Snapper has a new home. The alligator was named after native Chicago musician Chance the Rapper, and it was found in a public lagoon last week. A Florida wildlife expert caught the 5-foot gator over the weekend, and Chance will now live at the St. Augustine Alligator Farm Zoological Park in Florida. He'll be quarantined for a while in his own pool as experts assess his health. We're now getting a look at the next generation of the Chevy Corvette, and here it is. The biggest change, the engine is now behind the seats. Some say it's the largest change since the sports car debut in 1953. GM's president says it, quote, drives better than any vehicle in Corvette history. The price tag for the Stingray begins near $60,000, which is cheaper than had been expected. The new Corvette will be made in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, tomorrow marks the 50th anniversary of the moon landing, and today some kids had fun learning about it at the Challenger Learning Center.
And you'll need your heat safety tips as we head into the rest of the evening hours and even into your Saturday as well. We'll have a look at that full forecast and when we're going to cool off coming up in just a few short minutes.